feeling like doing a random aesthetic challenge in The Sims 4 today, but normally when we do it, we have to spin the wheel and then we'll use whatever aesthetic we land on to build a room or a house or whatever we're doing that day. But what if we made it a bit harder? What if we have to spin the wheel twice? So here is the wheel that I made for today. I added a lot on here. There are some we've seen before, some that we have not done before, and I tried to get a good variation so that some of them may not go together. Okay, but let's go ahead and spin the wheel for our first aesthetic, and we get modern. Already not my fave. You guys know how I feel about modern. Give me whimsical, give me retro, give me literally anything but modern. It's gonna be fine. Let's see what we're gonna combine it with, and we're doing it with Gothic. Those are like kind of opposite. So now what we're gonna have to do for every room, including the exterior, is combine the aesthetics. So whatever two we land on, we're basically gonna end up with something new. So let's go ahead and do a Gothic modern exterior. Let's see what Pinterest has to offer when I search up Gothic modern aesthetic. Can we name it Gothern though? That's kind of good. Okay, Gothic modern. Oh, stop. I love it. It's so pretty. We are only doing this for the exterior, but we're definitely gonna have to be getting those Gothic windows in there somehow. Gothic is just so beautiful and detailed, and then modern, we're gonna end up looking at more cleaner lines, more boxy structures. We might have to end up doing platform roofing. Okay, let's see what we can do here. But before we get started today, speaking of combining different aesthetics, I need to show you some of the pieces that I got for spring and summer from ThredUp. ThredUp is the sponsor of today's video, and they are an online thrift store where you can find amazing deals on all your favorite brands. ThredUp believes in a sustainable fashion future with the mission to inspire others to shop with intention and reject throwaway fashion culture. I have always loved thrift shopping. Shopping secondhand is just such a great eco-friendly, affordable alternative. But my favorite thing about shopping with ThredUp is it's basically like thrift shopping, but with a filter. So I'm going to show you what I got, but first I have some tips for shopping with ThredUp. Use the search to type in your favorite brands. Any brand you can think of, they have tons. And then ThredUp will show you all of their listings that were created by that brand. My second tip is to use the image search option. So let's say you found an inspiration image of a pair of shoes that you really love. If you save the image and upload it onto ThredUp, then they will show you a bunch of different options that are similar to the image that you uploaded. This saves me so much time. It shows me exactly what I want. So here are some of my favorites that I got from my recent ThredUp haul. First, this skirt that I got is the star of the show. I will be wearing it all summer long. It even has tags on it still. I got this for $16 and it was originally $45. I also got this super cute Trixie romper, which I could wear as is, but I could also layer another shirt on top of it. I got this for $15. It was originally $65. And this Leander adorable top with a bow in the back. I got this to wear on its own, but I'm also layering it underneath an outfit that I'm wearing to a run fair this weekend. I got this for $11. It was originally $40. I got these sunglasses to match my outfits. They were originally $60. I got them for $18. So shop with ThredUp to find hundreds of brands at a fraction of the price, all in one place. You can shop my picks using the link in the description and use code SID50 for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. Thanks again to ThredUp for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. So we are going to be building this in Forgotten Hollow. This is a world that comes with The Sims 4 vampires, and I'm thinking we build this right on top of Lad's lot. I've already demolished it. I really like building on this lot actually. There's a graveyard surrounding it, definitely giving Gothic for sure. Can we get the Gothern though? Let's sort of play around with the outside a little bit and see if we can get a vibe going. So I'm gonna just start off by building a box. I think we'll go 3 stories up today. Obviously, we're gonna have to do a black exterior. Black will work well with modern and Gothic. Maybe we try out like a Gothic brick like this. And then looking through for doors, this could be kind of interesting. This is from Businesses and Hobbies. This could potentially be a side door. I don't think I want it for the entry, so I'm just gonna put it literally in the back for now. Something like this might work too. This is from Growing Together. Or do we just straight up go for it with Life and Death? There's no modern in sight. This is strictly Gothic, but it's so beautiful. I'll never get over the details that they put into Life and Death Build and Buy. It's so good. Anyway, let's pull this forward a little bit. We're gonna need some black trim. I was thinking we probably need to open it up with windows like these. These are from Eco Lifestyle. And what if we bring in a nice modern column? This is not my shell, by the way. I'm kind of just playing around trying to see if I can get materials. Literally gathering over here. Ooh, like what about this spotty one? And then maybe we could bring these columns all the way up to the top. The thing about Gothic is it's very grand, it's very intricate. We can do the same thing while keeping it modern. It doesn't have to be minimalist. So yeah, these columns are gonna go out front. And then when we roof it, this is probably gonna be platform roofing. We can bring it over so it'll hang out over top, and I'm gonna double layer my platforms. I'm gonna add a black trim around it. We'll add black platform paint and black flooring. The entry would look something like this. Now let me build on top of that. Like going with the same idea, we can go this way. We can leave room up top here for a balcony. We'll bring the platform roofing wherever we go, so just extending that over. And I might layer these up so we'll have 2 columns on each side like that. I feel like we're gonna be teetering a lot in this build, so like now we're losing the Gothic a little bit. Let's bring it back with a trim. This one's from vampires. We can add in 2 more life and death windows at the top, and then we balance it out using this modern fence from Businesses and Hobbies. I think it has a light on it. Yeah, it's like lit up a little bit. What about this thick industrial looking trim on the balcony? There was a really cool door too. Yeah, this one from Businesses and Hobbies kind of just looks like a window, but this is under the door category, so this can be our patio door. And then we'll bring in the eco lifestyle windows again. I'll also add these windows down at the bottom, but then what else do we have for life and death? Maybe we do 3 of these on this floor. I'm gonna change this trim up top to something thicker, and this is looking interesting so far. I'm gonna keep going with the shell. I might extend it over a tiny bit like this. As alternate columns, we could use these ones. These are from Dine Out, and they also have a little bit of a light at the bottom. So I'm gonna put these onto the corners where I'm not using the thicker ones. Okay, so far so good for that side. Let's keep going to the right. I don't think I'm looking for symmetrical here, so I'll just bring that out like that. I'm not gonna do a patio at the front here. The roofing can start jutting in like this. I finished off the rest of the shell, and now I just have to add the windows and doors on this side. So maybe we can do a garage. I'm gonna use that door from Snowy Escape. We could add in a couple of these gargoyles too. These are from vampires. I think I'll just add some of them around, like at the tops. I've got the same door right there on this balcony, and then I'm gonna add these eco lifestyle windows, but they're more narrow than the other ones that I used. Then we can just use a variation of the windows that we've been using on the rest of the house. And then what if we raise this up at the front from Life and Death? This is meant to be a roofing detail, but I feel like that looks really pretty at the front. I'm also gonna add a couple chimneys, and then we're gonna brighten it up using some modern lights. These ones I'm using are from Base Game. I added flooring there for the garage. Let's also add it here at the front. I always like doing a combination, so like one type of flooring with another in the middle like this. We can add gargoyles here at the front, and then where we have the Gothic, we have to add the modern. Maybe we get this mailbox. This is from Get Together. I'm also thinking about wrapping this flooring all the way around, so I've kind of connected it onto the backyard here. This entire thing is already gated in, so we don't have to worry about that, but I am gonna start adding my landscaping. I'm also gonna start thinking about what I want my Sims to be doing outside, like what kind of outdoor activities we can add. What is a modern skill? I'm looking under electronics, trying to see if I could find something. Ooh, the gaming mats. I don't know why you would have that outside though, or this streaming drone. Let me landscape the rest of it, and then we'll figure out our Gothern activity. All right, this is what the exterior from the front is looking like for our Gothic modern house. I finished up the landscaping. We've got everything on the lower floor, like no foundation, so our driveway there is completely flat. I tried not to go too overboard with the landscaping because there's already so much landscaping happening around the build itself, so we really didn't have to add a whole lot anyway. The style is so interesting. I've definitely never built anything like this in The Sims. Here is what it's looking like over to the sides, but we do still have to finish up the backyard, and I have a couple balconies I want to do too. So maybe for our seating, we could do a big dream home decorator sectional. Like we just wrap it around like this. Ooh, and then the fire pit table in the middle could match. Then we could add a nice high bar top table here. Do we have any Gothic looking bar stools? I mean, we kind of have these. Maybe these are a little interesting. They're from Realm of Magic. We could add this candle display outside from Life and Death. A stone bar here from Perfect Patio could be nice. Oh, and there's even room for a chandelier. Should I put those on the front balconies too? And then we could go really modern with the balcony furniture. Like we could use this from the Refined Living Room kit. That looks really pretty on the balcony up top. This one down here is a smaller balcony, so maybe I'll just do like one chair, or we could do 2 facing this way like this. And then that is our second front balcony. I'm thinking about also adding a pool right here, just because I feel like it's so interesting that we would have a pool and then a literal graveyard in the back. I'll change the flooring and wallpaper in the pool though, so it's going to be like a darker pool. Okay, so here's the back of our Gothic modern house. house. This is a really big house. We're gonna have a lot of options for rooms. Oh, we've got the pool. I feel like this could be a good place for a vampire family if we wanted to go that route, or we can completely just modernize Forgotten Hollow. I feel like that would actually be kind of cool. Change the entire aesthetic of the entire world. But there we are. We have our Gothic Modern house. Okay, so here is the layout for the interior. We've got the front entry right here. This over here will be our living room. I also had a garage back here, which is kind of not functional. So like we don't have any cars to put in there. I might just stick bikes in there. I don't know. Or maybe like a skill item. Not really sure yet. Over here is going to be the kitchen and dining. And then we're going to have a bathroom. And then coming upstairs, I opened this up so we have like a loft style going on. I tried to keep it with the same aesthetic. Like I used the same railings. I used modern stairs. So this is going to be really pretty. And I hope it matches whatever we get for that room. So we'll have a hallway, we'll have a bedroom and a bathroom. And then going upstairs again, we're going to have another bedroom, a bathroom, a main room, and a bedroom to the right. So let's start off with the living room. Let's go ahead and spin for our first aesthetic and we're going to do metal. Okay. And we're going to combine that with retro. Metal retro. And by metal, I meant like metal. You know what? This fits good. I looked up metal band retro aesthetic. Some of these are definitely not giving metal, but this just makes sense with the outside. All right, I'm excited. Metal posters. I'm dead. This is the kind of stuff my boyfriend listens to. Like if he's got the aux cord, this is what we're driving to. Okay, I'm downloading this. I'm basically just gonna find a bunch of these posters off the gallery. Oh yeah, this is gonna work. Why are there randomly just pictures of like whales and sharks on the back of this? Like this room that I downloaded from the gallery has all of these metal posters on it, and then in the back, whales and sharks. That is so funny for no reason. Okay, obviously we're gonna do metal band gallery wall. So I'm just gonna add a bunch of them together. Fun fact, when I was a flight attendant, I actually saw their plane at the Fort Lauderdale airport. I have a picture of it. I'm gonna see if I can find it somewhere and insert it. It was huge. You could literally see it from a mile away. I think I'll frame them. I think they look better when they're framed. Then we're doing black flooring. I'm gonna just add it into the hallway here too. I think I'll keep it the black wallpaper, but I was also considering like a brown brick. So maybe we try a little bit of both. And then these walls are connected up here too. So that means I'm gonna have to bring the same wallpaper upstairs. Again, just hoping that whatever we get up here matches. Watch us get like Barbiecore. We also can't forget our second aesthetic is retro. So we for sure need a record player here. I'm using the old looking one from Get Famous. I was thinking about using this rug if I can get it to match. I know there's also one from Pastel Pop. Like this could be cool. It's almost like retro diner sort of. And if we're going retro, we could use an older TV like this. There's the one from the basement kit. There's also these debug ones from Eco Lifestyle. I kind of like how they look when they're sized up. So I'm adding that onto a console table from Life and Death. And then Get Famous has this retro style of furniture. We have that couch there, and then we also have these chairs. I think we'll add a few of these. Maybe my rug doesn't need to be so big. I wish there was like an in-between size. Get Famous also has this massive chandelier, which I never get to use because it's so big. But if we put this in the loft instead of that chandelier that I had, I mean, that's pretty metal. These might actually be debug items because they're props, but I mean, it's a light, it works all the same. And do I bring these all the way up? Do we carry on with more of these? I think yes. Okay, what else? We can bring in more of the retro with Get Famous. We can do one of these coffee tables in the middle. Some of the Life and Death stuff could be cool too. Like there's this Death Frog. The hourglass is cool. What else? Oh, the Mournful Melodies music box. And this guy. I also have this space in the back where we could maybe add some instruments. Some of the Grim Reaper posters kind of match like the imagery and stuff. I could add a few of these. This space under the stairs here is a little awkward. I might just try and add bookshelves. There's some of these movie slasher posters that again are not music related, but I mean, these kind of look like these. I mean, there's some similarities for sure. I think this spot in the back could maybe be more of a chill lounge music spot. I'm adding beanbag chairs. These are from high school years. And then yeah, we need these guitars. These are from Werewolves. There's also Grimm's Ghoulish guitar. We definitely need this one. We're gonna do like a shag rug. I'm adding in this light from Bowling Stuff. I also just want to add the collection of records. Maybe I can put that underneath the stairs. Okay, so here's our metal retro inspired room in The Sims 4. Let's get a better look. Okay, so this part is like giving retro. This is the Get Famous stuff. we've got some of the life and death decor pieces. Then over to the back, we have our lounge music spot, the fireplace in there. We've got our guitars, records scattered all throughout. And then I also did this wall. This is just posters, like random music decor, some of the records from high school years. And then over here, we've got the metal poster wall with all the guitars over here too. This is giving band home. Now that we've got an idea of who's living here, I like it. I think it's gonna match the outside very well. And actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this garage into a sound equipment garage. Like, I can add all of this stuff. This is from Get Famous. It's like lighting equipment, sound and video equipment. So if they need to hit the road going on tour or whatever, they can come in here and grab their equipment. I'll also just add some amps from Moschino. I would actually love to squeeze these in here somewhere too. Oh, and actually, I'm just gonna take these pictures. We're gonna frame them, and these can go in the garage, literally for no reason. They're just funny to me. Maybe our band is called like the Whale Shark. Okay, moving on, let's go do the kitchen and dining, and let's spin for two more. So the first one is gonna be Academia, interesting for a kitchen, and the second is going to be Witchcore. I'm into it. This one already makes so much sense to me as an aesthetic. Witchcore Academia, we're gonna see herbs everywhere, potions and ingredients, but then we're also gonna be seeing like books, so cookbooks can work, kind of giving cottagecore with what we're seeing here, and we can keep it dark so we can match our color scheme for the rest of the house. So far, I'm using cottage living counters with this fridge from Realm of Magic. The all black wallpaper, flooring, and cabinets and stuff though might be a little too dark, so let's lighten it up slightly. I'm gonna do a mixture of cabinets, so I'm doing cottage living and the country kitchen kit combined. I like these cabinets because they have the little bits of clutter in them, and then we can add shelving. I'm also gonna add this hutch from cottage living. Ooh, actually, no, we're gonna do this instead. This literally looks like a little potion making station. And then on the shelves, we could add potions from Realm of Magic. We could add other witchy clutter like this, but then we also need our books. Ooh, these counters in the back could be reserved for cookbooks. Like, I have these, I still need to do a sink and a matching Realm of Magic oven. I'll change this counter over for prep. And then yeah, this can just be our cookbook station. I also really like this book display from the Refined Living Room kit. And then over top of this, we could add vine curtains. I'm also gonna hang up the Realm of Magic herbs. Laundry Day also has some we could put. We'll add more books over near the herbs. And we're also gonna need bookshelves in this dining room somehow. I guess they can fit on that wall, and then we just need our table in the middle. I'll add this table from base game, and then we can add a Realm of Magic chairs. For lighting, we can add a chandelier from Vampires. And then this is the perfect opportunity to clutter up the table with books, like these ancient tombs from base game, this notepad on the table. I am cluttering this table up to the extreme. I love a cluttered dining table. I would also love a fireplace here if we're not blocking our table, because then we have an opportunity for even more books. All right, so this is how our Witchcore Academia kitchen and dining room turned out. I love it. This house is so fun. Look at this dining table. This is everything. Here it is in live mode with all of the potions going. This is how it's looking over to this side with all of our clutter, all of our books. I love this little station, literally just meant for all of our books to be stored. We're gonna move on from here. I have to do the bathroom, and then I might just tie the hallway together, combining all of these aesthetics. Okay, spinning for the bathroom, and we're going to do Candycore. Oh no. And we're combining that with vintage. So I'm looking at vintage candy store, and this is what we get. Does not make sense with the rest of the build at all. And it's a bathroom. Why would it be a candy vintage bathroom? You know what? I'm saving this. We're gonna do the bedroom in a candy vintage aesthetic. So we'll put a pin in that, but let's spin again. This might be a terrible idea. Let's see. Indie. All right. So we're doing indie and Animecore in the bathroom. All right. So when I searched up indie Animecore, this is what came up. Oh boy. Wait, this is cool. So I've been racking the gallery looking for Naruto specific anime art because that's my favorite. But I found this. This creator made the leaf pattern. What if we tried to use this as bathroom tile? It's even more rainbow when I placed it. Okay, I've placed these all in here. I'm gonna frame them too. Normally I don't frame these, but today I feel like they look better. Maybe instead of tile, it could just be like a gallery wall. And I'm changing the color of this light. I think I'll use this bathtub and I'll squeeze it in the corner. For an indie style, I was considering these curtains from high school years. There is a picture from Snowy Escape we could add in, and then I'm gonna add a shelf underneath and we can add actual bathroom things on there. But first I was planning on adding a speaker so they could maybe play some indie music on it. We can add some clutter from the sleek bathroom kit. I also just found this one that matches my color scheme a little bit better though. This is by Mag6002. And then we bring in more indie with like fairy lights. I'm dead. Maybe a lava lamp. What the heck? Why do I love it though? Okay, let's add a toilet over on this wall. And then I guess we can just do a sink. For indie, we could do one of these mirrors with the stickers on it. Or this one could work actually from Love Struck. This room has literally no business being in this house at all. Right next to the Witchy Academia like kitchen we have happening. I actually don't hate it though. I like all the colors. It's bold, it's different. Over to the side we just have our sink and our toilet. Really random though. Did not need to be included, but here we are. I just pulled together this hallway really quickly and now we're ready to go upstairs. So we already know what the two aesthetics are going to be for this bedroom. We're doing vintage Candycore and we just got a whole bunch of candy added with the Sims 4 businesses and hobbies. I was just coming to check and see if there were any pieces of candy that weren't super colorful so we can get back to our original theme of like, you know, gothic metal witchy vibes. Not this. So like, okay, can I keep with the black flooring and the dark wallpaper and still pull this off? I mean, I was looking at vintage candy shop, but the actual aesthetics were just vintage and Candycore. And a vintage bedroom kind of just looks like this. So if we can combine this with candy somehow, we might be able to pull it off. I was really drawn to this image. This mix some candy in there. Okay, we got it. We're gonna try this wallpaper from Life and Death with some dark brown wood flooring. And then we're doing this cottage living vintage bed. There's this rug from Werewolves. It's kind of like torn apart. Maybe this could work out somehow. We can add a vintage glamour vanity with a chair from Crystal Creations. And then how do we properly bring in this candy? Like this is the candy maker from Businesses and Hobbies. So we need this somewhere. And in order to place it, we have to put it on a counter. So I'm gonna add in this counter from Horse Ranch. Maybe we can get in a side counter like this too. And then we add the sweet treat maker and I don't know, a divider. There's this divider from Base Game. Above that, I'm gonna add a shelf from Paranormal. Oh, Paranormal also has the candy jars for some reason. So we can add these. We can add some lollipops. I'm trying to keep to the general color palette that I have happening in this bedroom right now. Oh, I wish we had a big candy machine. We have the literal candy sign from The Sims 4 Businesses and Hobbies. I also really don't want to abandon the whole band member idea in this house. So like all of these bedrooms in theory should be for a bandmate. And this one just so happens to love candy and vintage things and maybe anime. Oh, we have the candy bowl from Spooky Stuff. I'm adding a mirror in the corner. I made these bedrooms really big so we can fit a whole couch in here. Are there any candy pictures from the new kitchen clutter kit? There's cookie jars. Maybe these are candies. The party kit might have candy. Yeah, maybe that in there could just be like a big jar of candy. This sim is hosting candy parties in their vintage bedroom. But there we go. We've got a vintage Candycore bedroom. This was definitely tricky. It was weird trying to figure out ways to incorporate all the candy. I don't know why this would be hosting candy parties in their room. Maybe it's an after party. I guess we can add this vintage radio right here. So they also have a speaker and there we go. They're making candy. They're partying. I don't ask the questions, but let's move on from here. Let's go back to the wheel and spinning for the first aesthetic. We are doing nerdy and we're combining nerdy with burlesque. Stop. I genuinely do not know what's gonna come up if I search up nerdy burlesque. Okay, I'm dead. This is an interesting, very creative genre. I can't show a whole lot of it. Okay, we're gonna do this for this bathroom. This is a pretty big bathroom. I think we'll do black marble flooring and a red wallpaper. Maybe this, maybe this. Now let's do this. And then I think we use the swan tub from Get Famous. I'll put that over here. I want to do either a vanity table or like a dressing room area. When I think of burlesque, I think of that movie with Christina Aguilera and Cher. It truly does not get more iconic than that. I'm adding in a vanity. I think we have a mirror. Let me do the burlesque stuff first and then we'll add the nerdy. We can do this fancy sink also from Get Famous, the star mirror, and then like I need boas, I need feathers. We've got lights. I can do lights. We can add these vintage posters. How do we do nerdy? Maybe we can do a mix of like nerdy things and makeup and stuff on the vanity. So like we had headphones on here and then we do the makeup. Then we add some books. Stop, there's a Journey to Batu helmet. Imagine it's like Batu burlesque. I'm dead. Wait, I'm so sorry to do this to you, girl. We'll add another vintage glamour poster over here. These curtains that I was using in the other room actually work. They kind of look like stage curtains. I don't love it. We're obviously a little limited in the burlesque gift department in The Sims 4. Oh no, no, wait. The birthday cake with the dancers in it. No, how do we include this? It's massive, understandably, because dancers pop out of it. How do I get them to come out? I think in order for it to work, I actually have to age up, and I'm a ghost. I definitely don't have room for this cake in here, but that would have been good. Okay, there is our nerdy burlesque bathroom. We did what we could with the items that we have in The Sims 4, I guess. Vanity, we've got the mirror. We also have everything we need for our bathroom. Let's go back to the wheel. All right, spinning for our next first aesthetic, and we're doing Rockstar Girlfriend. This is perfect. And we're going to be combining that with Planty. Easy, done. The Rockstar Girlfriend aesthetic has been sort of floating around TikTok for the past couple years. It's this like alternative look. I actually really like this fashion aesthetic. This is so perfect for our house. So let's do another bedroom upstairs. We're gonna do this one. Obviously, we know what Planty looks like, so Planty Rockstar Girlfriend should give us no problems at all. So I'm gonna do this same wallpaper that I did in the vintage one in black, and there was a lot of black and red in that aesthetic. So our color palette in here is probably gonna be black, red, and green. We could try this bed from base game. There's a little bit of glam going on to this too. Like, we for sure need a big mirror. I'm using this one from the basement kit. I might need a couple actually. What do we have on this gallery? Sum 41? This is funny. Sure, why not? Lincoln Park? Sure, why not? There's definitely also some stuff we can find in here from like Discovery University. I just added this behind the bed. There's also this random poster from City Living. Girly is also gonna have a couple of guitars in here. Maybe she's part of the band. There's still one more bedroom. We never know who's gonna have that one. I'm keeping with the same curtains I used from Businesses and Hobbies. This is a door right here. The sim actually has their own balcony, so I want to make sure we don't cover that up. But some of the mosquito stuff could work in here. Like, I can bring in the amps again. We can use one of the trunks. Oh, actually, even the rack of clothes could work. I'm gonna put that in the corner instead. I'm also gonna add in some more of the records that we had downstairs. And then now that we've got our Rockstar Girlfriend aesthetic in here, all we have to do is add a bunch of plants, which is literally the easiest thing ever for me. We're gonna add these Planty curtains. We'll add them on both walls, kind of covering the door there, but it's fine. Sims can walk through there. We can add some plants on this trunk. This can just be plant corner. And there we have our Planty Rockstar Girlfriend bedroom. I definitely like this bedroom a lot more than the one we have downstairs. I'm hoping that this one and whichever one we do next door will match, but this is what we got. I love the bed. I've never get to use that bed, so I feel like it works perfectly for this aesthetic though. We've got our wardrobe over here, obviously some instruments. I think I'll add a microphone in this corner too. And okay, there we go. Let's go do the next bedroom. So spinning for the first aesthetic, and we're doing Acidwave. This is going to be the person responsible for the anime bathroom downstairs, and that's going to be combined with maximalism. Perfect. This is Acidwave. Clearly it already has maximalist qualities to it. We're seeing lots of rainbow, lots of neon, and then almost optical illusion imagery happening. It is a smaller bedroom though, so this is about to get pretty cluttered. So I'm thinking we go all black wallpaper and flooring. The wallpaper I'm going to use is actually this one from high school years. And then we have this bed from Island Living. Actually, if we do that, then we just do an all black wallpaper and we can size up this rainbow rug from high school years. We're definitely adding lava lamps. I might size one up in the corner. Oh, actually this martini light would have been perfect for the bathroom downstairs. It's going in here right next to the vanity. We can use this decor to the max wall art. We're definitely using the CDs and maybe all of these records here from high school years. I'm adding some fairy lights. Oh, this is the keyboard player for sure. So I ended up shifting everything over so that I could fit the bed in the corner. And then I ended up downloading this psychedelic art that we could use for this aesthetic. I'm placing those on the opposite wall. And then I'm adding these flower decals so they're surrounding this picture. We'll change up some of those swatches. I figured the inflatable neon furniture was perfect for this room, so I added 2 of those. And obviously we need some mushrooms. I actually ended up shrinking these and raising them so they were sitting on top of the keyboard. I wanted it to almost look like they were coming out of the keyboard. And then I got carried away and started adding some weird things like this lamp. It would literally just be watching me play the keyboard. It's terrifying. So naturally I added more sculptures. I started adding streamers on the walls with fairy lights. I added pillows at the end of the bed with this light from Lovestruck. I also added some shelving, and this is how our bedroom turned out. I tried cluttering every wall I could. This is how it ended up looking on the other side. We've got shelving, pillows, clutter everywhere. And then we had one more room to go, so I went back to the wheel and we got 2014 Tumblr combined with cyberpunk. Here we have the 2014 Tumblr aesthetic. Call me millennial, but this aesthetic still slaps. I don't care. And of course, we have the cyberpunk aesthetic full of neon, cityscapes, and tech vibes. So I went back to the gallery and immediately searched up Lana Del Rey, and I found this art which says do it like the 2010s art. We are definitely using this. And then looking up Tumblr on the gallery, I found this, a little cloud light. We're downloading that. It fits so I could put it directly in the center of my room. And then I also found this art which I've definitely seen on Tumblr, so I added that on the other side. I added my bathtub, then I started bringing in some lights from Spa Day combined with the RGB lights from high school years for changing the colors of all of these. I added this rug from Get Together under my bathtub, a sink here from Tiny Living, and a mirror with the photos in it. I also added the high-tech talking toilet, and this is what we ended up with for the 2014 meets cyberpunk bathroom. We've got all the neon in here, all of the lights, our posters, and our little cloud light. This one definitely pulled together the vibe of the bedrooms up here, so all I had to do was pull together the seating area, which I just used a general aesthetic of the house. I did the same thing for the hallway on the second floor, and that has been us building a house in The Sims 4 where each room is 2 random aesthetics. Let me know which rooms were your favorite in the comment section down below, and thanks again to ThredUp for sponsoring this video. Again, you can use code SID50 for 50% off plus free shipping on your first purchase. You can shop my picks by using the link in the description. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.